Nityanandam. Today I am going to talk about potency tests which were conducted on Paramahamsa Nithyananda. There were multiple potency tests conducted on Swamiji. So first of all, please understand why multiple tests were conducted. Because the other side, the people who were accusing us were not interested in producing the potency test results in the court because the potency test reports were in support of us. Any evidence which you feel is going to contribute to weakening your case, you have a legal right to not present that evidence. However, by various appeals in the Supreme Court, we got the documents out and we presented those documents. In around 8th August 2012, the High Court had given a stay order on potency test. See, understand the context is, even if you are proven potent, does not mean you are capable of rape, or you have done a rape, to be more precise. So on September 9th, 2014, there was a discussion, there was a hearing in Supreme Court, and what we said to the Supreme Court that Swamiji's body is incapable of any kind of a sexual activity. So potency test should be conducted and it should be brought forward as a part of the case. But because it is a violation of the dignity of a human being, therefore the tests were not being encouraged. But Supreme Court was granted one thing. They said that since if you feel that this is going to strengthen your case, you can very well go ahead, and they issued an order for potency test to happen. So one of the arguments which comes repeatedly is that we paid people to conduct that potency test and we got a result which is favorable, which is not true, because this was a test conducted by order of the Supreme Court. So on 9th September 2014, the potency test reports were out. Before that the tests were done, and on 9th September the reports came out. Some of the facts which I wanted to really highlight in this video is the testosterone level. If you see the graph which is being projected on the screen, you will find that the testosterone of Swamiji is only 12.9 nanogram per deciliter. The testosterone level of a healthy adult male body is from 250 nanogram per deciliter to 1200 nanogram per deciliter. Whereas for Swamiji's, it is only 12.9. If I give you a rough roundup, I think it is somewhere around 5% of the minimum. The minimum is 250. 5% of 250 is what is Swamiji's maximum. So this is a very important point, that it is not 5% of the upper limit. It is 5% of the lower limit. So you can imagine how less it is. Secondly, if you observe this graph, Swamiji's testosterone level is even lesser than newborn babies. And this is not something which is being made up. It is something which is being ordered by the Supreme Court and is being presented. Third thing, it is even lesser than female bodies. The testosterone which is observed in healthy female body, it is even lesser than that. The gap between the two is like 16%. Now the question comes, the very fact that the testosterone level it's not even in the domain of what it should be for a male body. So the very question arises about the gender. Not exactly like what is the gender, the fact that the properties of a male body is not being expressed. Rather, it is more close to a female body as far as the testosterone aspect goes. This is a subject of study which the medical science should take up and study what is a Divya Sharira. How Divya Sharira, the description of how it is given in the Shastras, how it is being practically expressed by a living incarnation. This is something which the world should study, not like take it for granted and suppress this very important fact which is unheard of in the entire medical history of humanity And if you can find another example, please go ahead. Because if your testosterone level goes below 200, it is, rest assured, for a normal human being, you'll be in depression. That is what happens with most of the normal people. So it's not a joke to be living like someone who is always in bliss with such a low level of testosterone. Another interesting thing which I wanted to share with you is, I was actually referring to some legal documents. If you see Gujarat High Court judgment, page which I got from page number 285, Law of Marriage and Divorce, 4th edition. If you refer to the page number 285, what you find is that a legal framework or a legal opinion or legal judgments, it's a compilation of what judgments have been delivered by the court, because they form the basis of future judgments, not only the Constitution of India. What are the judgments which the various courts issue, that is also used for arriving to conclusions for a future judgment. So if you look into that, the fact that a person has a testosterone level lesser than 250 nanograms per deciliter, that fact itself is sufficient to substantiate impotence, and that is sufficient criteria for claiming divorce. There have been cases where this has been used to claim divorce by the wife, because many a times they need some point to substantiate and make their case stronger for divorce, when it also involves some kind of property dispute, and they want to have a good share and a fair, or you can say they just want the thing to be in their favor. So something which is used as a legal definition for impotence is being projected by the media as impotency. There is no sign of impotency. It goes completely against the judgments of the courts, and also it goes against the fundamental common sense, because the testosterone level is way below. Secondly, the very word, if you see the medical definition of impotence, the medical definition of impotence is erectile dysfunction. The very fact, the very word, it's also called vascular impotency. The word vascular impotency has been mentioned in the report. So how can somebody say that impotency has not been established? So I would like to show you a few news clips and what the media has been saying about us. So these are a few news clips. One is by Indian Express. It says Nityananda undergoes potency test. This is nothing much, to be honest. And here you can see in 2014 it is mentioning an old the order about going into potency tests. See, this is an important news by Daily Mail. Nityananda may face another potency test. So the fact is that there has been more than one potency test. This is something you should ask. Why is a person being made to go and do multiple potency tests? So this is also okay. They are talking about the report being submitted. This is a judgment where the Supreme Court had asked to undergo potency tests. So what we need to understand here is that this is a Supreme Court order. So the people who have this logic saying that the doctors or the institution was paid and this was a false test done by us and we are producing our own results is false. It was done under the guidance of Supreme Court. And again you can see a very contradictory statement. Need not take potency test today. See, because Supreme Court was not really interested. Now this is the funny things which are starting. Medical test indicates Nityananda is a man. See, never was the gender a subject matter in the case. it is a research matter, you can say, after the findings are coming out that the testosterone level is so low, it is going to the female side. So you can take it as a research subject, but it is not the subject matter of the case. So there they are completely trying to divert your attention from the main subject matter. And so here you can read the last part. Concluded, there is no evidence to suggest that the person is. If you read the whole article, actually they are saying there is no evidence which suggests that Swamiji is impotent. So they are talking reverse of what is there in the report. And there's something more mentioned here. Doctors refuse to sign the medical report. We'll talk about this later. And finally, controversial, they are writing something about Big Boss. So what I wanted to share with you here is, actually there was one more news clipping, I don't know, I was not able to find it here. There are some news channels which are saying that the potency test actually never happened. It was a newspaper from Karnataka, I don't remember the name. So if you see how media is acting on this, they have nothing better to talk rather than promoting some programs for which they are paid. See, they must have received some money from this program or something. So they are finding out avenues how they can promote this program. So they are linking this program with Swamiji and making a news out of it, and not mentioning even smallest of the technical, legal, medical details of the actual potency test. No facts. So you can see how media is making a fool out of you, and they are a complete set of, no, they are not even, you should not even call them media, they are prostitutes. Only media today on planet Earth is social media. The only place where you can cross verify and have multiple sources and you can go for the right one. So all these prostitutes, buddhu, stupid, completely opinionated guys, they are distracting and diverting your attention. So this is it for this video today. Thank you for joining me, and share your comments. What do you think about this potency test? Nithyanandam.